I say good morning, Belize, and good morning, and how are you this morning?
Tonight we bring to you a story about violence that kept circling back to one Belizean family. A man some called an underworld figure. A string of killings, wives, cousins, brothers, that made headlines from Belmopan to Florida. Tonight we follow the public record to ask a hard question. Why did violence follow Russell Hyde, his family, and those around him? Russell Winston Hyde Sr. is a Belizean who lived near Camalote and Roaring Creek in the Cayo district. In newscasts, police often described him as known to them. Some reports called him so-called crime boss. Language we're quoting, not endorsing. The point is, he was on the radar. How he ended up on the radar all started with Hyde's first major case on the public record, which comes from a late-night confrontation outside the Deja Vu nightclub in Belmopan, which left one man dead. In December 2005, after a 3-week trial, Russell Hyde and his brother Clifford were found guilty of manslaughter in the stabbing death of Alison Castillo. 2 other co-accused, Dennis Hyde and Delvin Galvez, were acquitted. In January 2006, Justice John Tradio Gonzalez sentenced Russell and Clifford to 12 years. But the story didn't end there. In February 2007, the Court of Appeal quashed Russell's conviction and sentence. Entering a verdict of not guilty, he was able to walk out a free man. His brother Clifford's appeal failed, and prosecutors successfully argued the sentence was too lenient. So his time was increased to 15 years instead of the 12 he was given at first. From 2007 forward, Russell was back in the West, running his business interests and, according to police, figuring himself into police investigations from time to time. The trial history matters because it sets the stage for what would become the violent summer of 2015, a sequence that shocked Belize. On May 17, 2015, Russell is driving with his common-law wife, Rosalie Galvez, near Guanacaste Park when a gunman opens fire on the moving vehicle. Rosalie is fatally struck in the head. It's a clinical detail, but it matters. This was a targeted attack from a distance. Some newscasts called it a sniper-style shooting. Russell escaped the ordeal alive and lived to tell the story this time.
Upon reaching the curve before Guanacaste Park, one gunman come out and fire a shot and hit my wife, so I pick up more speed and I took her to the hospital, and shortly after I reached,
I knew right away that from looking at her, seeing her, I know that she wouldn't have made it, and I know the doctors and the nurses at the hospital tried their best. I saw what they were doing in the emergency room. I'm very much appreciative of their efforts, and she succumbed shortly after. You know, she didn't even get an opportunity to get into the ambulance, as you know, it was a serious injury because of the shots.
No arrests were announced for this heinous crime, but this was the start of a domino effect of brutal killings that shook the hearts of the villages of Camalote and Roaring Creek. 1 week after Rosalie Galvez was murdered, the family of Edelberto Madrid reported him missing when he never returned back home.
7:30 was the last time he left from this exact location. Went to visit his sister at the back, and I texted and he did not answer. And all day I call and no answer. So I decided to go home after like half an hour trying to contact him. Yes. And I waited all night thinking he would come home. He did not come home. So I decided to go in the morning and ask at the police station if he was detained. He was not detained in any of the police station in the area. So we did a missing person report. And later in the morning, a group of friends decided to go and look around the area for his body.
On May 26th, searchers recover the dismembered body of 28-year-old Madrid, known to be a close affiliate to Hyde. The descriptions in the press were grim: decapitation and dismemberment. Madrid's family was in disbelief. They knew he was no angel, but never expected this to be the way he would meet his end. A horrific death. His body was in pieces. 2 men had to tie his torso to a boat and bring him to shore where he could be identified. Within 24 hours, a second body is found. The body of Stephen Deeds Hyde, age 51, Russell's cousin, was found in a shallow grave on a farm belonging to Russell in Camalote. Family told reporters that just like Madrid, body parts were missing from Stephen Hyde's body.
Found his body, he has missing hands, missing foot, but they found all his pieces.
In a shallow grave right here?
A shallow grave already buried.
All right. Now, can you give me an idea? There was a murder, just a similar, they found a body in a similar condition just yesterday. What's the connection between the 2 men?
Well, the connection there, Stephen Hyde and those, they were best friends and they were associates with Russell Hyde. And at the time, they were hanging out with Russell Hyde.
Now, this was 2 bodies, both killed in the same fashion with what seems to be some sort of butcher's equipment with how clean the cuts were. 2 known affiliates of Russell Hyde and 1, his cousin, was found in a shallow grave on his property where his cousin was the caretaker. Police detained Russell and others for questioning, but they were later released. The connection, motive, and perpetrators were not resolved publicly in these 2 cases. But it was believed that these men, who were all once very good friends, had a falling out, which led to the initial murder and the bloodshed that followed. Just as Belize reeled, the family's tragedy jumped overseas. August 2015 in Lehigh Acres, Florida, Russell's sister Dorla Pitts, her daughter Starlette Pitts, and Starlette's boyfriend Michael Kelly Jr., along with Starlette's unborn child, were killed. A relative, Brian Omar Hyde, was arrested and later convicted in the U.S. In 2018, he was sentenced to 4 concurrent life sentences. As if all the killing so far wasn't enough, then came August 28, 2015. Night falls on a feeder road near Russell's hilltop home in Society Hall, Camalote. As Russell drives up to his home, 3 gunmen ambush Russell and Marcy Humes as they arrive. Marcy dies shortly after at Western Regional Hospital. Russell's body is found nearby with multiple gunshot wounds. A 3rd person fled and survived.
Apparently dead, so he was transported to the Western Regional Hospital also, and he was officially pronounced dead now.
Well, the young man that was along with him, which was the 3rd person, I think he gave information more or less, so that when they drove up by the house, it tell Rosalie, says it 3 person in a dark clothing coming, he said, make her run. Well, Russell never run, but he started to run, and after when they mostly attack him, then he started to run and they shoot him in the back.
And that's when they shot both Russell and the young lady?
Shot Russell in the back, and after he dropped it, looked like he gun and finished him.
The violence, which always seemed to be just around the corner from Russell Hyde, had finally caught up to him. The sad part is that an innocent woman, who was simply at the wrong place at the wrong time, also paid with her life for it. Local reports framed it starkly. At least 11 people connected to Russell had met violent deaths since May, a statistic repeated on air as officers spoke of an ongoing feud. It captured the scale, if not the answers. The violence didn't end with Russell Sr. His son, Russell Hyde Jr., also had his run-ins with the law and with death. In 2017, he was shot multiple times outside a meat shop in San Ignacio, but survived. His own cousin, Rashid Hyde, was charged for the shooting. Then in 2018, he himself was charged for shooting a man in his chest, a cycle that seemed to not have been broken by Russell Sr.'s death. Then came April 3rd, 2021, at the same Camalote residence that Russell Hyde Sr. was killed. Clifford Hyde, his younger brother who had just finished serving his 15 years in jail, was recently released from prison, but was shot and killed. An 18-year-old relative, Anya Galvez, was critically injured. Police later charged a man in that case.
All the time they do them thing and get away. And this thing happened in big public. A lot of people may have only party and he gone and they have only argument. He go into the truck for come in and the truck never start. And the guy went me there with her, gone for give an next truck and the same time the boy come in and he shoot her in the back and then he drop down and he tell him I give it to him finish her. But when I same boy when me there at the party, somebody went there wrong study.
So someone he knows killed him.
There's somebody who know killer.
Sir, Mr. Hyde, now I was made to understand, was released from prison about 4 months or so ago. Did he have any incidents, any dispute, any altercation with anybody during that period of time when he's been out?
I'm not aware, but I can say that he was detained as a part of the last murder in Belmopan at the market. He was detained as a part of that investigation.
He was cleared?
I wouldn't say he was cleared, but he was released after he was interviewed.
Police was able to make an arrest in that last murder of Clifford Hyde. So why did so many people around Russell Hyde die? Here's what the public record supports: long-standing conflicts and reprisals. Police and reporters repeatedly referenced feuds and underworld disputes as context, while also acknowledging no clear public resolution in many cases. Visibility. Russell's name appears across multiple investigations and a high-profile 2005 to 2007 court saga, putting him, and by extension his circle, under a hard spotlight. No arrest outcomes. In several killings, Rosalie Galvez, Russell and Marcy, police announced persons of interest but no arrests on record, leaving motives untested in court and rumors to fill the vacuum. What we won't do is declare an unproven master theory. The facts are brutal enough: a cluster of violent deaths in and around one family over a short span. In closing, we note that behind every headline is a family trying to make sense of loss. This family has suffered so much loss in such a short period of time that the trauma may be for a lifetime. If you have information about any of these cases, contact Belize Police or local Crime Stoppers. And if you want more deep, sourced reporting like this, subscribe and tell us what story to do next. Until next time, thanks for watching The Beard Man.